Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I'll be talking about Zach Wilson being named a captain and why he's already proving that he is a leader at this level. Before we get started today, just wanted to mention you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY, and if you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast wherever it is that you get your podcasts. So the New York Jets named captains today, and there were 5 captains: CJ Mosley, Foley Fatukasi, Justin Hardy, the new special teamer, Corey Davis on the offensive side of the ball, as well as Zach Wilson on the offensive side of the ball. And that one might come as a surprise to some people because, well, a couple of reasons. One, he's a rookie and hasn't taken a snap in the NFL yet. And number 2, there was this narrative around him that he wasn't captain material and that he was a selfish player. And he's gotten to prove all that wrong, but more on that in a second here. This is something that was voted on by New York Jets players. This isn't something coming from above where it's like the Johnsons is forcing their hand and trying to do this on their young player. It's not the coaching staff trying to push this narrative. The players decide this. So that already tells you all you need to know about Zach Wilson and why his teammates think so highly of him. He puts that work in. It's been well documented that he's a film junkie in college, at the NFL level, throughout his entire football career. He is someone who loves to study film, loves the game of football, and it's showing early. Now, will that translate on the field? We don't know yet. One would think probably yes, but again, we don't know. But it's a good sign that he is being named captain. Some questions that I've seen is, why is Marcus May not a captain? He was a captain last year, and same thing with Quinnen Williams. Now, just because you're not technically a captain, there's only 5 of them on this roster, doesn't mean that you can't be a leader. They probably lead in different ways. Quinnen Williams is an up-and-coming player. I understand that. This is, still, very much so part of his defense, even though, like I said, he's still just entering his 3rd year. And while Marcus May has been here, writing's probably on the wall that he doesn't have much time left here. It's probably going to be his last season as a member of the New York Jets, and maybe they're just trying to get some new blood or some building block blood in here, guys who are going to be here for a while. CJ Mosley is going to be here this year and potentially next year too with this contract situation. Fatukasi, you hope, is here for a while. Hardy, you just brought in a really good special teamer. That makes sense from that perspective. Corey Davis will be here for the foreseeable future. Zach Wilson, knock on wood, will be here for the foreseeable future. So all these guys, to me, not only are either good or leaders right now, but they are also building block pieces and guys who will be here for a while. So awesome to hear that Zach Wilson is already respected, which doesn't really come as too much of a surprise, because if you remember back in February, I talked to Jay Drew, who covers BYU, and he put that narrative that Zach Wilson isn't captain material to bed way back then. And then there was another story about him being a spoiled rich kid that we got into. I have to play the video again just because it's still relevant all these months. 6 months later now, it's still relevant, but it's been finally put to bed. Zach Wilson's a captain. Something came out this week, I believe it's Rich Cimini, who covers the Jets for ESPN, was talking about that he wasn't selected as a captain. Is that something that you put much stock into, or is that something that was just overblown by trying to look for, just something to hold against this kid?
Yeah, with all apologies to whoever come up with that, that's just laughable. You got to understand what BYU is like. BYU has a lot of returned missionaries, guys that go on these 2-year missions for the Mormon Church. So most of Zach's teammates were older than him. Even guys that are freshmen and sophomores were the same age as Zach, who didn't go on an LDS church mission. And then, so these guys are out, all over the world, living on their own. They develop these phenomenal leadership qualities and skills. So when BYU picked captains, they're generally going to pick the guys who are a little older, have been on the mission, and the players, pick those guys. So then what happened was a couple of those guys got hurt, and they re-voted middle of the season, and they made Zach a captain then. So I think you have to – the bottom line is the teammates like him. They love him. They respect him. I haven't heard one negative thing from a teammate about him. So I think that's a combination of people just not understanding what BYU is like with these older players who are going to get the votes of their teammates, who are maybe more mature, have kind of been there, done that out in the world, so to speak. And so I don't think you can read anything into it. It's just they just happened to the guys that voted. Kalani Sitake, the coach, said, "Hey, it was a close vote, but we're going to go with the seniors." Zach, he's coming out early. He's a junior, so yeah, I don't put anything into it. There was another report a few months ago about how he was a spoiled rich kid,
right?
Where it's true that his uncle owns JetBlue or founded the airline JetBlue, and Zach's own father is fairly wealthy. He owns a string of like convenience stores and laundromats and things like that. But you talk to here's a kid that went out when he was out in California during the pandemic last May. He delivered DoorDash or Grubhub or one of those where you deliver food to people on Mother's Day just to earn money, so the burden wouldn't be on his parents, so he could pay for these trips to Southern California and things like that. So,
wow.
That's just a little anecdote, but when people say this is a spoiled rich kid, he drives the beat up old Mazda 6. I think it's about 8 years old around campus. His younger brother, who's also on the team, inherited the exact, literally had this Jeep that he drove in high school, and he gave his brother the Jeep, and he starts driving around kind of a beat up Mazda 6. So when people say, this is a spoiled rich kid, yes, he does have, he comes from a very, very wealthy family, but you would never know that. You just would never know that by talking to him or just watching him operate.
How about that? Before ever taking a NFL snap, Zach Wilson is listed as a captain. Hopefully he proves himself as a leader here in the 2021 season and beyond, but expectations are high for him for a good reason. He was the number 2 pick overall. He performed well at the collegiate level. His throws popped off the page. He's proven to be a leader at BYU. And early on, again, his time here has been short, but he was handed the keys from day one. This is there's a quarterback competition game like what they've done in New England, what they did in Jacksonville for a while, in San Francisco and Chicago. No. This has been Zach Wilson's show the entire time, and they proved it today by making him a captain. So I love to see it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below or on social media. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.